Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make this shell mermaid crochet bralette. So this is inspired by our previous video, which was of the crop top or the bikini top that we did in the previous video. If you would like to check it out, I have a photo of it here and you can click on the link to go straight to that one if that's the only thing that you want to make. This is an upgrade to the previous video because we are going to keep building onto this, but the video is going to start right from the start, from the beginning where we are creating the bra cups as well as the bottom band of the top. This top has a cute little bow in the middle section. You can choose to use any color of your choice to create this bow, maybe to create some sort of diversity as well as contrast. And then if you have already tried out the general shape of the bra cups as well as the straps, then you're going to skip over to a point in the video when we are done with all this, and then you will start from the bottom band of the top. If you haven't yet done that, we are going to start from scratch, and let's enjoy this video. For this tutorial, you will need a 2mm crochet hook, a 3mm crochet hook. So have your 2mm for the bra cups as well as the straps, and then the 3mm crochet hook will work on the bottom band of the top, as you can see here, and then a pair of scissors and a darning needle. So if you have tried out the Shelly butterfly top, this stitch shouldn't be a strange stitch to you. This should be something very familiar to work with. And for this pattern, I would say maybe an intermediate crochet artist can pull it off, but even a beginner, if you follow along the instructions very well with me, you can achieve the same exact design and enjoy your crochet shell mermaid bralette. So in this video, you'll also learn how to make these beautiful straps. If you would like the written pattern of this top, it's already available on all my online shops, and you can find all the instructions on Ko-fi, Ravelry, Etsy, as well as my website. So let's get started. Alright, so you're going to grab your 2mm crochet hook and your yarn, and you're going to start off with a slip knot. So for a slip knot, you just yarn over like this, create a ribbon-like shape, insert your hook into that loop that you've created, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through. Then at this point, you can let go of the bottom and then pull on the tail. So that is our slip knot. Let's go on to the beginning ring of the top. So you're going to make a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once you have your 6 chains, you're going to come back to the very first chain that you made. I think the light is too much. Let me try to turn it down a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go into the very first chain that we made with 1 slip stitch. So insert your hook, pull through all, and that will create a ring at this point. So I hope the color at the base or in the background is helping with the vision. So we've created a small ring. Now we're going to make a chain of 3. This is row 1. Make a chain of 3, and then into the ring that we created, that little ring, we're going to place a total of 9 double crochets. So 1, a double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You will have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we want a total of 9 double crochets. That's the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. So we have a total of 9 double crochets and then a chain of 3 at the beginning. So meaning we have a total of 10 double crochets. But then if you're a larger size, now this will apply for a size small, extra small to small. Now we're going on to row 2. You're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as our very first double crochet. Go into the very first stitch, which is this one, and place 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets into the same exact first stitch. So 1 and 2. So that way we have created some sort of shell. And then for the next stitch, you're going to place a front post double crochet. So a front post double crochet, you yarn over, go under the stitch, under the next stitch like this, and push it to the front, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. This is going to start creating ridges, as you can see here. That's the use of the front post and the back post double crochets in this pattern. So after your front post double crochet, in the next stitch, you're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets into the same stitch. Just like that. And then in the next stitch, you're going to place 1 front post double crochet. So just like we did here, you're going to yarn over, push the next stitch to the front, and then place your double crochet as usual, just like that. And then you're going to yarn over into the next stitch. You're going to place a shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. And then in the next stitch, you're going to place a front post double crochet. So yarn over, place a front post double crochet into the next stitch. Sorry for the noise, the dogs are on fire. I don't even know what's wrong with them. So from here, you're going to go into the next stitch with a shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. And then from here, you're going to place a front post double crochet into the next stitch. Just like that. And then you're going to place a shell into the second last stitch. This is for the size small, extra small to small. So for all the other sizes, you're just going to continue until you have only 1 stitch left, which is the chain 3 at the beginning of the previous row. So I'm at that point where I have 1 stitch left, which is the chain 3, as you can see here. At the end, you're going to go on top of that chain 3 with a normal double crochet. So if you follow these instructions to the T, you should be having a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 shells. For 3, you're going to make a chain of 3, turn your work. And then we're going to go into the chain 1 spaces of the shells. So into the chain 1 space of the first shell, you're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets into the same exact space, just like that. And then we're going to skip over the next 2 stitches. Those 2 stitches are the 2 stitches of the previous shell. And then you're going to go into the next stitch with a back post double crochet. So for a back post, you turn your work onto the back side and then go under the stitch, just like this, and work your double crochet as usual. So the stitch that had a front post double crochet in the previous row gets a back post double crochet in this row. So from here, you're going to go into the chain 1 space of the next shell and place a shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets, just like that. And then you're going to skip over the next 2 stitches and then a back post double crochet into the previous front post double crochet of the previous row, just like that, and then a shell into the next shell. So we're going to repeat that all the way across until you place a shell in the very last shell of your row. So shell, back post double crochet, shell, and then back post double crochet, and then I'm placing my very last shell of this row, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets, just like that, and then into the very last stitch, which is the chain 3. On top of it, you're going to go in there with 1 double crochet on the topmost. Remember, at this point you have 5 shells. By the time you get to this point, you should know that the side that doesn't have ridges, when you're working on a row that's on this side, then we place back post double crochets. Then if you're working on the side that has these ridges, then you place front post double crochets. So for size extra small to small, this is where we're going to end our journey with the 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. So we're going on to row 1, 2, 3, row 4. We're going to change the construction. So after a chain of 3, you're going to go into the stitch before the chain 1 space of the shell. So the chain 1 space is here. You're going to go into that stitch before and place a double crochet there, and then into the chain 1 space you're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets, just like that, and then you're going to place 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So that means the shell is now changing from 2 chain 1 2 to 3 chain 1 3. Then from here you're going to place 1 front post double crochet. It's because I'm on this side, but if you're on the back side, I believe for the medium to large size you're going to be on this side, so you will place a back post double crochet. So from here you're going to place 1 double crochet in the stitch before the chain 1 space, and then 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets into the same space, just like that, and then into the next stitch you're going to place 1 double crochet. So that has balanced the 3 double crochets that we have on this side onto this side. So from here, a front post or a back post double crochet depending on which side you're on. So just keep repeating that all the way across. All right, so once you place your last shell of the row, you're going to go into the very first stitch or the very last stitch, the edge stitch of the previous row, and place a double crochet on top of that chain 3, and that marks the end of row 4. Now we're going on to row 5. You're going to make a chain of 3, turn your work. You're going to go into the chain 1 space of the first shell, and you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 more double crochets into the chain 1 space, just like that, and then you're going to place a back post double crochet, and then into the next chain 1 space of the next shell you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 more double crochets into the same space, just like we have here, and then a back post double crochet into the next stitch, after skipping over the next stitches of the shell, of course, because we're trying to align these ridges. Then from here, continue to do that all the way across. All right, so after your last shell, you're going to place 1 double crochet at the end of our row. And now this marks the end of having 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 double crochets for the shell. All right, so we're going on to row 6, and you're going to make a chain of 3, turn your work, and then in the stitch before the chain 1 space of the first shell, you're going to place 1 double crochet like that, and then into the chain 1 space, you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 more double crochets into the same exact chain 1 space, just like that. And then you're going to place 1 double crochet in the stitch after the chain 1 space, just to balance the four stitches that we have on this side and the 4 stitches we have on this side, separated by a chain 1 space. The chain 1 space may seem to be a little bit small, but it's there and we can see it. So the fact that we are on the right side of our work, we are going to place a front post double crochet in the ridge. That's what I'll call it. And you can see the lines running upwards. So from here, you're going to continue to repeat that. 1 double crochet into the stitch before the chain 1 space, and then into the chain 1 space, you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 more double crochets. And then you're going to chain 1, 3 double crochets into the same space. And after this, you're going to place 1 front post double crochet into the ridge because we are on the right side of the work. So repeat that all the way across until you're almost at the end of your row, and I'll show you how to wind up. So I'm placing my very last double crochet into the stitch right after the chain 1 space, and then from here you're going to go into the very last stitch on top of the chain 3, and you're going to place a double crochet there, and this marks the end of row 6. So we are going to repeat this 2 more rows. Actually, let me cross check from here. Yes, 2 more rows, placing 4 on this side and 4 on this side of the shell. But keep in mind that the side where you are determines whether you put a front post or a back post double crochet into the ridges in the middle of the shells. So 2 more rows. So let me begin the next one. Chain 3, turn your work, place 1 double crochet in the stitch right before the chain 1 space. There. You're going to place your first double crochet there, and then into the chain 1 space, you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 more double crochets. And then into the stitch right after the chain 1 space, you're going to place 1 double crochet, just like that. And then Since we are on the wrong side of the work and the ridges are popping on this side, that means we are going to place a back post double crochet into the ridges. All right, something like this. Then you're going to continue to do this all the way across. Don't forget, we are still having 4 double crochets on each side of the shells. So this will be my first row, and then I'm going to do another row of this. So you can see what we are creating. We are still maintaining the ridges to pop on this side alone. So finish up your row and then make another row, but this time with a front post double crochet into the ridges, because you'll be on the right side of the work. So we're coming to the end of this row. This is row 7, and you're going to place 1 double crochet on top of the chain 3 on the edge of the previous row. So this is what you'll have. 1 more row, you're going to make a chain of 3, turn your work, 1 double crochet in the stitch before the chain 1 space of the first shell, then into the chain 1 space, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 more double crochets. And then you're going to place 1 double crochet in the stitch right after the chain 1 space of the shell, and then a front post double crochet into the ridge, because we are on the right side of the work. So go ahead and finish this row as well, and then I'll be back to show you what to do next. All right, so we are done with row 8, and it's time to switch it up a little bit. We are going a bit wider than what we have here, and we are now going to do something different for row 9. Row 9, you're going to start with a chain of 3, turn your work, and into the stitch before the chain 1 space of the first shell. This time we are placing 2 double crochets instead of 1 double crochet. So the stitch before the chain 1 space, sorry, we're going to place 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. So into the chain 1 space, you're still going to place 3 double crochets. So that makes a total of 5 double crochets on this side of the shell this time. And then chain 1, 3 double crochets into the chain 1 space, 1, 2, and 3. And then the fact that we have to balance this side and this side to make a complete shell, we are now going to go into the stitch after the chain 1 space with 2 double crochets. So the only change here is that the stitch right before the chain 1 space and the stitch right after the chain 1 space, each of those stitches is getting 2 double crochets instead of the 1 double crochet that we were doing before. So go ahead and work your row as usual, not forgetting that this time the shell has 5 stitches on both ends. Alright guys, we're coming to the end of row 9, and I'm placing my very last double crochet, and this is what you'll have. We're going to go ahead and work row 10, 11, and 12, having 5 stitches on both ends of the shell. And in order to achieve that, you always just place 2 double crochets in the stitch right before the chain 1 space and 2 double crochets in the stitch after the chain 1 space, and then into the chain 1 space you place 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets. So that will make a total of 5 stitches on both ends of each shell. And yeah, let's go ahead and do 3 more rows, and I'll meet you back when I have that. For now I'm at row 9, and I'm going to do 3 more rows in order to bring me to row 12. So alright guys, we are at row 12. If we can cross check, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12. So we have 12 rows right now, and that's where we're going to stop. We're going to now create an edging for our top or for our bra cup. So you're going to turn your work and place a treble crochet into the chain 1 space of the first shell. Like that. And then yarn over twice to create a second treble crochet into the same space. 1 2 and 3. So that's what we have right now. Now you're going to go into the same chain 1 space with 8 more double crochets. So once you have your 8 double crochets, you're going to go into the next stitch. Depending on which side you're on, you're going to place either a front post or a back post double crochet. So the fact that I'm on the wrong side, I had to place a back post double crochet. From here, you're going to go into the chain 1 space of the next shell, and you're going to place a total of 10 double crochets. After your 10 double crochets, you're going to go into the next ridge with a back post or a front post double crochet, depending on which side you're on. And you're going to repeat this all the way across. 10 double crochets into the chain 1 space, then a back or front post double crochet. So I've placed my 10 double crochets into the very last shell, and I'll go on top of the chain 3 on the edge of the previous row, and I'll place 1 double crochet there. This is what you'll have. Now from here, we are now going to start creating our straps. So you're going to make a chain of 3. Prepare for a double crochet by yarning over and go into the same space with 1 double crochet. And then you're going to make a chain of 3. Go into the space between the 2 stitches here. Go into that hole and place 1 double crochet. And you're going to repeat that until you have a total of 35 segments. So the segments that I'm talking about are these ones. You're going to keep building. So far I have 1 2 3 4 segments. I have a detailed video on how to make these straps, and if you would like to check it out, please click on the link on the screen and go and give them a try. These are my go-to straps, and they're sturdy, they're stretchy, they're strong, they are functional, they don't dig deep into the skin even if you tighten them. So they're my recommended straps. So keep building until you have your 35 segments of the strap. Alright, so I ended up doing a total of 35 segments for my upper strap. As you can see here, I have a total of 35 segments altogether. You can make more segments if you want your strap to be longer, or less segments in order to get a shorter strap. So from here, you're going to make a chain of 3 and then go into this space, the very first segment, and place a single crochet. Now we're going to be working all the way back on our strap in order to make it thicker. So chain 3, single crochet into the space of the next segment, like that. So go all the way down. So I want to show you how the strap looks like. I'm very sure some of you guys on this channel have tried this strap on several projects because I have a detailed video of it, and I've used this same exact approach on different straps. It gives a sturdy feel as well as something very strong and reliable as opposed to a plain chain. So go all the way down until the very first segment of the strap, and I'll meet you guys back there at that point. Okay, so we are back to the very first segment of the strap, and I am placing my single crochet there after the chain of 3, and this is what our strap looks like, our upper strap. So if you want it longer, that means you will have made more segments for your strap. So let's go on to the next step. We're now going to work all the way down until we get to this point, the exact middle tip of the top where we started from. So we're going to place 2 single crochets in each and every row, like that. 2 single crochets. This will help us create the edging as well as bring us to the point where we want to create our second strap. All right, so when we come to the end, almost towards this point, we've placed 2 single crochets in the very first row, as you can see here. Now we are going to place 1 single crochet in that ring where we placed our very first double crochets of the first round. Place a single crochet and chain 2, and then place 1 double crochet into the same space. So we are creating our second strap. So let me say this is the upper strap on this side. This is going to be the outer part of the bra cap. So this strap is even going to be longer than this one. This one is going to wrap around the neck, and then this strap is going to go all the way to the back to create that bikini top. So for this one, I think I will do a total of 50 segments. Remember, this one had 35. Now for this one, I'll do a total of 50 segments. Chain 3, 1 double crochet into the space between the 2 stitches below. So that space there, just like we did for the first strap. Chain 3, 1 double crochet, chain 3, 1 double crochet in the space below. So we're going to continue building our strap until we have a total of 50 segments this time. So I've made 50 segments for my second strap, the side strap of the top, and I'm going to go back on that segment just like I did for this one. As you can see, this one is not yet finished. So we want it to get to this level where it's thicker and well designed. So we're going to go back on that segment on our strap of 50 segments in the same exact way that we did for our upper strap. So chain 3, 1 single crochet into the first segment, like that, and then chain 3, 1 single crochet into the next segment, and we're going to do that all the way back to the beginning where we have our very first segment of the strap. Okay guys, so we've come back to the very first segment of the side strap. I just noticed that the single crochet stitch was worked on the wrong side of the top. As you can see, we worked it on this side that has the back post double crochet stitches, but it doesn't really show on this side, so we shall leave it like that. But if you want to change it, then you're going to have to make sure that the single crochet stitch is worked on the right side. But I think it's no big deal, so we can go ahead. Once you place a single crochet in the very first segment of the side strap, you're going to make a chain of 3, just like we have here, and then into that ring that we created at the beginning, you're going to place 1 single crochet there. So you're going to have something that looks like this, just identical to the upper strap. And then from here, you're going to make 2 single crochets in each and every row, just to create an edging for our top. 2 single crochets in each and every row, or in each and every double crochet space, just like I'm doing right now. All right, so this is what we have right now, and in the very last space, which we have here, you're going to place 2 single crochets and then skip 1 stitch and slip stitch into the next, just like this. Now from here, you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, pull through. So this is what we have, guys. This will be one side of the top. So as you can see here, this is the side strap that's going to go all the way around the back, and then this is the upper strap that's going to tie around the neck. At this point, we are done with the very first part of the top, the very first side, and now we are going to do an identical piece to this one in order to create the second bra cup, and then we shall come back and put everything together and kind of accessorize this whole design so that we can get a very finished look. So yeah, I think that's it. You're going to grab your yarn and repeat the same exact process for a second bra cup all the way to the straps. Once you get to the straps, I'll get back at that point to show you what to do exactly so that you don't get confused about the whole process. So just do the cup and then I'll meet you back at the straps. So we are at this point when we are done with our second bra cup. As you can see, this is our very first bra cup and this is the second one. So once you get to your second bra cup, when you finish, you're going to have to place your work like this, so that the tail that you left behind is on the inside. And then you're going to place your other bra cup like this. So just look what I'm doing. Look at what I'm doing, and you're going to have to place your work like this. This is the side strap and this is the upper strap. Now you can see we've ended at this point, not at this point, just like we have here. So what we are going to do is we're going to make a chain of 1 and cut our yarn, leaving behind a tail, because we want to replicate exactly what we have on this side onto this side, just like what we have here. And then we're going to get our yarn and reattach it. We're going to reattach our yarn on the upper side of the top. The reason why I've placed it like this is because this is the right side of the work. The side that's facing up is the right side of the work. So what we are going to do is to attach our yarn in the topmost corner, this side, and then we're going to chain 3 and 1 double crochet into the same corner. So what we are going to do now is to build the strap just like we have on this one. we did a total of 35 segments for the upper strap. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, a total of 35, and then go back on the strap just like we did for the first strap. You can rewind this video and see exactly how to work this strap. So we've made it all the way back on our strap, and this is the upper strap. As you can see, now we have something that's balanced both on this side and on this side. So these are the straps that are going to go around the neck like that, like this. And then we are still going, so we're going to work on the edge of this break-up just like we did here. The only good part is this time we're on the right side of the work, but it won't show, trust me. So you'll chain 3 and then 1 single crochet into the corner of the top, and then we're going to start creating 2 single crochets in each and every row, or each and every double crochet space. Two single crochets just like we did here. So go all. So when we get to this ring, you're going to place 1 single crochet there just like we did for this part, and then you're going to make a chain of 2 and 1 double crochet into the same space just like this. And then for this side strap, we did a total of 50 segments. So I'm going to go ahead and do my 50 segments, come back building onto the strap just like we've done here, and then I'll meet you back at that point because this video is going to get longer than it already is. Okay guys, so after making my long strap, the one that had the 50 segments, I went ahead to do the 2 single crochets in each and every row, and then ended up doing 20 segments for this part that had this loose end. Remember it? When I placed my work like this, there were loose ends here on this side. So I went ahead to do 20 segments and then went back on it, just like we've been doing for the previous straps. And I went ahead to reattach my yarn and do the same exact thing on this side. 20 segments, because these are the shortest and these are going to just tie here. Let me just get the loose ends out of the way. These are going to just tie here in the middle of the top, just like that. So this is what we have, and at the back, if you turn your work to the back, you will have these straps, the long straps of the 50 segments or whatever number of segments that you did for your long straps. These ones are going to tie at the back of your top. These ones are going to go right behind your neck. These ones at the back, and then your body is going to literally be in the middle section here. And when you turn it to this side, this is what we have. Forgive the straps, there's so many, they're so long, but that's basically it. That's how you make this top. Now I'm going to explain how you can alter this top to fit larger sizes, because this was for a size extra small to small, and for the larger sizes, now that we already know how to construct the top, when it comes to the beginning, instead of having a chain 3 and 9 more double crochets, for size medium to large, you're going to have a chain 3 and 11 more double crochets, and for size extra large to 2XL, you'll have a chain 3 and 13 more double crochets. Then when you start working and building your work, you will end up with a total of 5 shells for size extra small to small, 6 shells for size medium to large, and 7 shells for size extra large to 2XL. When it comes to these divisions, you can see here, there's a shell and then a ridge, then a shell here, then a ridge, shell, ridge, shell, ridge, shell. So these are the shells that I'm talking about. The fact that we have a total of 5 divisions here. For the other sizes, it will increase by 1 for all the other 2 sizes. So for size medium to large, you'll have 6 shells. For size extra large to 2XL, you'll have 7 shells. Now you'll go ahead and keep working just like we've been working our small to medium size. Our extra small to small size, sorry. And you'll keep working, and remember when we had a total of 3 stitches on both sides of the shell? Once you get to row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have 5 rows where we started on row 6. That's where we introduced the 4th stitch on each side of the shell. Now you will increase by 1 row for size medium to large, and for size XL to 2XL, you increase by 2 rows, still making 3 stitches on each side of the shell. I don't know if that's making sense, but I'll put it in writing in the written pattern. I'll try my best to explain it as best as I can. So 1 more row for this, for medium to large, and 2 more rows for this, for size extra large to 2XL. And then from there, you will move on to the 4 stitches on each end. And for this one, we had a total of 1, 2, 3 rows. Now that means for size medium to large, you will have 4 rows of having 4 stitches on each end of the shell. And for size extra large to 2XL, you will have 5 rows of having 4 stitches on each end of the shell. Then you will go onto the 5 stitches on each end of the shell. And for this one, I did a total of 1, 2, 3, and 4 rows for size extra small to small. So for medium to large, you will have 5 rows of having 5 stitches on each end of the shell. And for size extra large to 2XL, you will have 6 rows of having 5 stitches on each end of the shell. So the moment you get the construction and you know the general instructions of how to expand this pattern, this is going to be the easiest pattern you'll ever come across. I don't believe it's a challenging one. So the moment you get the number of rows that you need for the different sizes, then the edging just remains the same. So you will do the edging just like we did for the size extra small to small. The only difference is the number of shells will keep increasing, because from the beginning, we had a different number of shells for the different sizes. So for example, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For size medium to large, you will have 6. For size extra large to 2XL, you will have 7 shells. Alright guys, so now that we have achieved the general construction of the upper part, this is going to be the second part of the top, where we're going to turn this into a bralette. So you're going to turn your work like this so that we are on the lower section of the top. And if you wanted to stop here, then you may stop here if you want a bikini top. But for me, I want something with more coverage and something that can be worn comfortably well anywhere and on any garment. So I'm going to get my 3mm crochet hook. We are switching from a 2 to a 3mm crochet hook. And then you're going to make a slip knot. We are using the same exact yarn. And now we're going to count a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops for size extra small to small. Medium, you're going to count a total of 11 loops. And then for large, you're going to do a total of 15 loops outwards. So for me, this is the 7th loop, right from the very first loop of the strap. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that's where I'm going to attach my yarn onto the strap. So since I was making for size extra small to small for this particular piece, I'm going to chain 3 and then into the next loop. So leave this 7th loop and go into the 6th or the next loop, and you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3. The other thing that I forgot to mention was your work should be on the right side, should be facing the right side, as you can see here. So from here you're going to go into the next loop with 1 double crochet, just like that, and then into the next loop you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 more double crochets. Just like this, and then into the next loop you're going to place 1 double crochet there. And then from now onwards the shell is 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 more double crochets. So after your shell, into the next loop, and then into the very last loop you're going to place 1 double crochet. Now we have come to the body of the top, and from this point onwards we are going to consider the rows. So the first row here we're going to place a shell, which is 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 more double crochets into the same space. And then from here you're going to place a double crochet into the next row, as you can see here. So into the next row you're going to place a shell, chain 1, 3 double crochets, and into the next row you place 1 double crochet. So we are going to continue working across just like this until we get to the middle section of the 2 bra cups. So we're almost coming to the middle section, and I'm going to untie this knot just to give you a clear vision of what I'm doing. And into the very last row, as you can see here, this is the very last row of the bra cup, and it's getting a shell. So we're placing 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 more double crochets. So after doing this, the fact that each shell should be separated by a double crochet, we're going to place 1 more double crochet into this space just to create that separating double crochet between the shells. Keep that in mind, and then you're going to cross over to this side and you're going to place a shell into the very first row. Just like this. And now at this point we have joined the 2 bra cups together. They are no longer being joined by only the straps that we have, and here you can go ahead and tie this up, put it back as a knot so that these strings don't disturb you or distract you while you're working. And then you're going to go all the way across, placing 1 double crochet into the next row and then a shell into the next. Repeat this all the way across until the end of the bra cup, and then I'll show you what to do from there. So we're coming to the very first row of the bra cup, and it's getting a shell. You should make sure that you're just duplicating what's on the opposite side onto this side. So since the very first row on this side got a shell, you should be at this point where the very first row of the second shell is also, the second bracket is also getting a shell. So from here, after this shell, this is what your work will look like. Then from here, you're going to place 1 double crochet into the next, and then a shell into the next. Now we are working into the loops of the strap, just like we did at the beginning of the bottom band of the top. After your shell, 1 double crochet into the next, shell into the next, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and 3 more double crochets, 1 double crochet into the next loop. So you're going to look here and see how many shells you did on the strap. So I have 1, 2, and 3, and so far on this side I have 1 and 2, so this will be the last shell on this side. Of course, for the bigger sizes, you're going to have more shells on this side, depending on what you considered for the first side of the strap. So once I have my third shell here, I'll place 1 double crochet into the next loop, and that will mark the end of the side extension of my bottom band. So let's go on to the next row. You're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as the double crochet, and then you're going to turn your work. Into the first shell, you're going to place a shell, which is 3 double crochets. Into the chain 1 space of the shell, of course, chain 1 and 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And the fact that now we are on the wrong side of the work, as you can see, the right side is the one that has these ridges and the wrong side is the one that doesn't. So the fact that we are on the wrong side of the work, we are going to place a back post double crochet after skipping the next 3 stitches. Into that standalone double crochet, you're going to place a back post double crochet, just like that. I hope you remember how to do that. And then a shell into the chain 1 space of the next shell. So as I had mentioned earlier on, a shell for this bottom band of the top is 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. And then in the standalone double crochet, you're going to place a back post double crochet. That is going to push this ridge on the outside so that these ridges are all on the same side. You can see, and then these ones are running downwards. So you're going to repeat this all the way across, placing a shell in each chain 1 space of each shell, and then a back post double crochet in each standalone double crochet, since we are on the wrong side of the work. So when you come to the middle section of the 2 brackets, remember we have 3 double crochets on this side, and the double crochet that splits this, the two sides is on this side. So you'll go into the double crochet that you placed on this side and place a back post, and then you're going to just continue with the pattern as usual. Okay guys, so we're coming to the end of our second row of the bottom band, and I am placing my very last shell in the chain 1 space of the last shell of the row. And from here, in the very last stitch, which is the chain 3, you're going to go on top of it with only 1 double crochet into the topmost chain, just like that. And now we're going on to row 3. Row 3, you're going to make a chain of 3 and turn your work. And then at this point, you should be seeing the ridges starting to form on the right side of the work. So let's go on to row 3, chain 3, turn 1 shell into the chain 1 space of the very first shell. just like that, and then a front post double crochet in the standalone double crochet, and then a shell into the chain one space of the next shell, and a front post double crochet into the next standalone double crochet, just like this. So you can see the ridges starting to form. So go all the way across. At this point, everything is very clear, and you can go ahead and build onto what we already have. So depending on either whether you're on the right side or the wrong side of the work, that will be the factor that determines whether to place a front post or back post double crochet in the standalone double crochets. So the wrong side gets back post double crochets, and the right side gets front post double crochets in the standalone double crochets. So I'm going to go ahead and keep building my bottom band until I have the thickness that I want for my top, and I'll meet you back to show you what to do next. Oh guys, here is a little update of how your work should look like as you go on building the bottom band of the top. Here's what your work will look like. So I'm still building, and I'll let you know how many rows that I'll have done for the bottom band of the top. Okay guys, we are back, and I did a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 rows of the bottom band of the top, and you can see how beautiful this is coming together. If I'm to turn it around, remember all the straps are already done. So what we are dealing with right now, I love this bow here. Guys, look at this. I just love this bow. You can even, while working the main body of the bra cups, you can choose to switch the color of the middle bow. Imagine it like in pink or in lilac. That would really make a statement, and it would make the bow stand out on the original design. So you can choose to change the color of this the straps in the middle just for this sake, or just leave it as it is, just like I have here. And yeah, I did a total of 9 rows for the bottom band. If you want it longer, just go ahead and keep building until you have the thickness of the bottom band of your top that you wish to have. And now we're going to turn our work onto the wrong side. Remember, we made these straps way longer than the upper straps as well as the middle straps. So we are going to just crisscross like this, and then skip a few rows. Let me say 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th, we're going to lace it up. Skip 3, and into the 4th, just pull through the strap. Like that. And then you're going to crisscross again, just like a shoelace. 1, 2, 3, and then into the final row, you're going to lace it up. You can choose how close or how far apart you want your straps to lace up at this point. I can't dictate. You can do whatever you wish to do for your top. And then at this point, you can make a knot. And that's how the back of the top will look like. And yeah, that's basically it. That's how we turn our mermaid top into a bralette, a functional one. You can see how this looks like. And I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did. If you would like the written pattern, it's already available on my online shops. And I'll see you again soon in my next tutorial. Bye.